Alrighty, we'll finish up with some basketball stories now, and this is, it's funny, but it's not funny. It's funny because it's disrespectful. It's funny because it's disrespectful. But here we go. We know, obviously, March Madness is starting, but the women's tournament is it happening at the same time? I don't know, and that's not great. But, so we do get a little inside look of what the women's March Madness tournament is working with in terms of their weight room. All right, folks, this is it. That's all the women have for their weight room, folks. The just free weights of like the light ones, like the 2.5 to like 17.5 pounds. It's the weight rack that you find in the very corner, the back right corner of a Planet Fitness, folks. This is what the women are working with, a set of weights from like 2 to 17.5 pounds. It's not the 20, it's not the 25. It's a comically small weightlifting set. So here we go. That's the women's. And now they show the men's. Look at this space. They've got racks everywhere, free weights everywhere. They got an entire room, folks. They got an entire room. And then the NCAA came out and said, oh, the reason, it's nothing discriminatory that we did that with the women's. It's just we had no room. And then this player goes and exposes that right here, saying that this is their court. So this is where the women practice. That's their weight room. And then they've got this totally whole unused space that's basically almost the same exact size as the men's weight room that we just saw. So all this unused space there for the women, truly disrespectful. And we just saw this with the bubble in the WNBA and the NBA last season, where the men were getting all these nice meals and the women were literally living in like a murder hostel where they had to pay for their own laundry that was coin operated. And then we saw that for their meals, it was like cheese on bread, and the bread wasn't white or wheat. It was some kind of weird mixture of both that did not look any appetizing at all. So once again, the women getting a little disrespected here. It's just truly unfortunate. I mean, it's tough because the only reason that all right, let's break it down just like this. I mean, the reason why men get paid a lot of money for sports is because they bring in revenue. They can sell advertisements. I mean, all the sports that, the majority of everybody watches is really men's NFL, men's basketball. And I'm not saying women's sports isn't great, folks. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying a lot of people watch men's sports that sells advertisements. That means the owners of those teams can sell more advertisements, make more revenue, pay their players more money. I mean, that's how it breaks down. Where the women, they're not marketed enough, so nobody really knows. I don't know when their sports are on, folks. I follow ESPN. I follow all of that. I don't follow the WNBA, but I follow those major kind of sports networks, and they don't tell me when the women's games are on. They do it like once a month. Hey, this is what we got going on for the entire month, and if I miss that tweet, I missed the tweet, and I don't know it. So part of the problem is advertising. Part of the problem is marketing. The other part is just pure disrespect and, just blatant disrespect. So it is truly unfortunate. Once again, I mean, the women getting the short end of the stick here in sports. I mean, if you're even looking into the story, I mean, you see a lot of comments that, women's sports are an inferior product. And I don't want to 100% agree with that. But when we just look at the sheer performance of men and women's sports, I mean, men's sports is more electrifying. Now, women's do have sports that they are better than men at. I mean, women's basketball is not as exciting as men's basketball. I'll say that. It's not as exciting. Does it mean it's inferior? No, it just means it's not exciting. Nobody's dunking in the WNBA. So I get emphatic dunks in the NBA. And so I'm not knocking women's sports at all. They do deserve to be playing. They do deserve to kind of get the same respect that men do. Women's tennis I think is a bigger market than men's tennis. I don't know that for sure. I don't even really watch tennis. I just know Serena, I think, is a more of a recognizable athlete than maybe Roger Federer, maybe. But yeah, I mean, that's the state of it. It's unfortunate, but you really just have to look at the top of what the money is right now. If women want to have the same respect and recognition that men do in sports, first of all, you need to get somebody on that marketing team, and then somebody else needs to, start selling advertisements to these big players, seeing that you can generate revenue so the owners can make money that pass it on. I mean, folks, you think the NFL owners and the NBA owners are paying people all this money in losing money? No. They're making money off the advertisements. Advertisements is the only thing that matters in this world. If you can sell advertisements, you're going to make money, folks. That's the bottom line. But there's really, especially in the NCAA, when they're not even getting paid yet, there's no reason why they should be having this disparity in their own weight room. I can't believe it. So yeah, that's that, folks. That is the NCAA women's tournament. Not great. Not even equal. Not even close to. It's really not even close. If you can watch the video, if you're watching the video here, if you're just listening to it, it's comical. It's comical, the difference there. Disrespectfully comical.